Hola! So, as we approach the festive period, we can assume that filming on the first season of HBO's Harry Potter series is well underway. We can probably deduce they're somewhere around the Halloween to Christmas scenes at the moment, which is rather exciting. Naturally, as they're in the midst of filming, casting news has been pretty thin on the ground recently, which is only to be expected. I've said previously that I suspect that we've only had announcements relating to characters appearing in Season 1. There's no real evidence of this. I could be completely wrong considering the actors playing both Lucius Malfoy and Cornelius Fudge have been announced. And both of those two characters do appear for the first time in Book 2 as opposed to Book 1. But apart from these two characters, no casting for any character not in the first book has been announced. For instance, we've not had Gilderoy Lockhart announced and we've not had Mr. Weasley announced. Two pretty prominent characters in the second book. So basically my theory is that HBO are taking some liberties with the story and that they will show Mr. Malfoy in the Diagon Alley scenes when Harry first meets Draco Malfoy. In the Philosopher's Stone book, when Harry meets Malfoy for the first time in Madame Malkin's shop in Diagon Alley, Lucius Malfoy isn't actually there, but HBO could very easily have him in that scene. It wouldn't really be changing too much, like realistically Lucius Malfoy could easily have been there, and it would establish Lucius Malfoy as a key character very early on in the show, which would build up the world a bit for the viewer. Also, evidently HBO are taking some creative license, as we've already seen that they have been filming scenes with Dumbledore and Nicholas and Perenelle Flamel, which was never actually in the books. Same goes for Cornelius Fudge, so again they have announced that he has been cast, which was actually several months ago now. And again, Fudge does not appear until the second half of the Chamber of Secrets book. So I guess the question is, again, why did they cast him so early when they didn't cast any other new characters that appear in book 2 onwards? So therefore, I also have a theory that they might be showing a quick snap of Fudge in Season 1. It would be, in my opinion, a very good idea. Hagrid tells Harry all about the Ministry of Magic and Fudge in Chapter 5 of the first book. So in the show, I'm thinking they might just show like a moving picture of Fudge making a speech or something in the Daily Prophet that Hagrid is reading. Doing it that early on in the show, again, would add a bit of depth to the world and get us, as viewers, used to a character who will play a huge role in later seasons. Therefore, I have been, until now, working on the assumption that they have only been announcing castings for characters who will feature in Season 1 of the show, as they have only announced these characters that have appeared in Book 1, with the two exceptions that I've just mentioned. So you can imagine my surprise when I read this rumour that Bill Nighy might be cast in the show as Professor Slughorn. It's a bit of a surprise for a few reasons, to be honest. Reason one, basically, as I've just said, is that Slughorn doesn't appear in any form until Book 6. His name isn't even mentioned. And I don't think it would make any sense for them to put him in the first season of this show. Slughorn just isn't in any way relevant to any storyline or subplot prior to when he first appears in Book 6. So then the question is, why would they be casting Slughorn now when he won't appear in this show for like another 8 years? It just doesn't really make any sense. We've heard nothing to suggest that they have cast any other future characters like Lupin, Sirius, Moody or Umbridge, so why would they do Slughorn? So, I've got a theory. Is there a chance that, during the flashback scene in the Chamber of Secrets book, when the diary version of Tom Riddle shows Harry his framing of Hagrid for the opening of the Chamber of Secrets, Slughorn appears somewhere in that memory? Now, Slughorn was definitely teaching in Hogwarts at the time, and as we know, he had a very close relationship with Tom Riddle. So is there a possibility that they're going to elaborate on this memory a bit and just have Slughorn somewhere, if only in the background? It's possible. It's the only possibility I can see, to be honest. It's either that, or they just randomly decided to cast Slughorn years and years before it was necessary. Or of course, the other alternative is that it's just a fake rumour, which actually, to be honest, thinking about it, seems like it's quite likely. Anyway, so the next reason that this announcement or rumour surprises me is that Bill Nighy actually played a different character in the original Harry Potter films. He played Rufus Scrimgeour. Now, this isn't a massive issue, to be honest, as it was 15 years ago and Bill Nighy's Slughorn would probably look completely different to how he did when he played Scrimgeour. But it's still a bit of an unnecessary thing to do. Like, surely there's absolutely no shortage of British actors that they could use, so it just feels a little bit weird to use someone from the original films that played a different character. It could just be slightly confusing for viewers and for not really much of a reason. Obviously Warwick Davis is playing Flitwick again, but that's the same character. Anyway, so the final reason that I'm a bit surprised by this is Bill Nighy has an extremely distinctive acting style. So he's an absolute legend and I love like almost everything that I've seen him do. But almost every character that I have seen him play has this like very, very distinctive, quirky, awkward, eccentric vibe with a very like offbeat way of delivering his lines. And even when he played Scrimgeour, he brought that very specific energy with him, which I actually think was a little bit of a miscast, by the way. Scrimgeour was supposed to be like a very forceful, dominating sort of character, but I just don't really see Bill Nighy being Slughorn either, to be completely honest. Slughorn is supposed to be like this very like socially self-confident, comfortable, part of the furniture, slightly pretentious, spoiled, pompous sort of character. Kind of like a rich, fussy old lady in a way. But he's not really supposed to have this really quirky, socially awkward sort of energy that Bill Nighy brings to a lot of his characters. I hope that's a fair assessment, but that's my opinion. Now, Bill Nighy is actually voicing Slughorn in the new audiobooks, so that will definitely be interesting to see how he delivers it. Anyway, so let me know your thoughts about this take in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like and subscribe to the channel for more.